Hello, and welcome back to the Coop De Villa podcast. This is Scott Cooper, and we are here to review Manchester United versus Aston Villa from the English Premier League on Saturday. I've got the boys here. I got Tommy Lazaridis, I got Noah Fisher, and Troy Eccles. The whole team's back, and we will be reviewing the match after this. And we went into the game at early kickoff at Old Trafford. It was a long trip for some of our supporters, with a few problems with the motorways and the trains and this sort of thing. So it was great to see a fully packed away end, and it was no real surprises in the starting lineup. We couldn't play Twanzebe because his parent club is Man United, of course. So Courtney Hause came in for him, and we stuck with the five at the back. Noel, what were your expectations going into the match with the lineup and the difficult task that was always going to be United away?
Well, my expectations have been like every time we play United, is we're probably going to lose. I mean, ever since I've really been a Villa fan, I think we've beaten them once that I can remember, which was Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, no surprise with the team. I think it's also really good that we have so much depth in this squad now. I mean, look at the players we got on the bench with like Buendia, Traore, and then when obviously Bailey and all that come back. But yeah, no surprise with the team, and obviously buzzing with the result. I honestly buzzing all day.
Yeah, well, we will get into some of that late drama in a bit. But Tommy, I think the one thing we've got now as Villa fans is a bit of belief. Going into this match, I didn't feel like we were going to get thumped. I thought we'd give them a good game. And what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Everton game, especially coming in with the clean sheet, gave us a lot of confidence. I think the new formation that Dean Smith's been experimenting with definitely seems to be working. Pre-game, I was actually pretty confident. I think, if Melbourne can break a historic record, I think we weren't far off either. So, yeah, we'll definitely surge in with confidence pre-game as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I mean, we played Chelsea twice in a week, and done well against them. The Everton games, so I was really looking forward to this, and we started quite well. Troy, we were on the front foot. I think we caught United by surprise with how far up we were pressing. Matty Cash and Target were quite high as the wing backs. And how did you like our start to the game and our sort of philosophy?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, Noah said that there was no surprises in the lineup. There was no surprise in the formation. There was no surprises in the tactics. But apparently all of that was a massive surprise to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who just didn't expect that. I think he thought, well, they're playing five at the back. Let's just park in their half all game and just toy with them for a while, and we'll win the game in the 104th minute. Uh, I don't think for a second he had a clue that we would have the audacity and the balls to attack them with Mike Dean as a referee and at their home ground. So fuck them.
It was definitely good to see. I mean, I think you're right there. I think Ole didn't respect us, as a team, and thought they could just rock up, play all their big guys, and win the game easily. And it wasn't like that at all. In the first half, United did have a few shots, Noah, like Greenwood and Bruno Fernandes had one in the first couple of minutes, but they were all from sort of outside the box, around the edge of the box. And the biggest chance in the early parts of the game came to Matty Target after some great work again from Matty Cash.
Oh, that was a great ball in from Matty Cash, the Polish legend. Literally, as I said before, since he's gone Polish, he's a new player.
Yeah.
The
I think
Polish Cafu, the Polish Cafu, I believe.
I love it.
He's like Lewandowski now. Like he
Yeah,
is.
I know.
No,
Well, I
but
think the only thing that stopped Target was the slide from Wan-Bissaka, I think it was. I
Yeah.
think just put him off, but great chance. Would have loved to have got the early goal. Obviously, didn't affect the result too much at the end of the day. Luckily, the first half I never really felt any of the United's chances were that threatening. Besides that Maguire header, that was probably the best chance they've probably had of the game. I think I can't think of any other better chances than that. But you weave through bodies and everything. I think we had 13 block shots. which that's got to be one of our highest for a long time. You know, bodies on the line, everything flying everywhere, and an all-round great team performance. I mean, even the strikers like Danny Ings and Watkins, they were all tracking back and putting in such a defensive shift, and we deserved the 1-0 win.
Yeah, we'll talk about Watkins. The other big chance in the first half, Tommy, was when David De Gea, did the miss kick and it fell to Ollie inside the box, and it just felt like an Ollie with a couple of goals behind him would have buried that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he probably rushed it a little bit, but that being said, as a natural forward, it's literally you and the keeper. First thing you're going to do is shoot. He probably didn't want to dribble. If he dribbled, and then I think there was a player coming from behind him, so probably could have been intercepted. I think it was funny that it ricocheted off the shot after he fired it into De Gea, ricocheted off Ings' chest back into De Gea. But yeah, nonetheless, I think Ollie's confidence right now, it's probably not sky high. He's still coming back from an injury, so we don't know if he's 100% or not. But I think a lot of the 1% things he does off the ball, and especially if his offensive pressure, is something that the team's missed. And yeah, scary enough, he hasn't even got on the score sheet yet. We're playing in some pretty incredible form.
Yeah, I mean the like we talked about the pressure there from the front two, and that goes throughout the whole team. I think the midfield three, Troy, is something that has really benefited from this change in system. Like Ramsey, McGinn, and Louise were fantastic again, and the three of them just complement each other so well. What are your thoughts on how that midfield's going?
Well, they do complement each other, and they don't seem to have any kind of rigidity. Yes, Louise tends to hang back a little bit, but Ramsey and McGinn could literally pop up anywhere on the park, and I think that kind of unpredictability is what's going to see us do very well this season. Not only from those two players and where they are on the pitch, but from the entire team and the entire bench. It's completely unpredictable. If the fans are struggling with it, the opposition managers must be having migraines. I'm really pleased.
Yeah, well, we talked about it before we started recording that last season we had a lot of players that were sort of good going forward but didn't really defend very well, like, Grealish, El Ghazi, Traore, these kind of guys. But now we just seem to have a team of guys that can do everything, and that is definitely going to help us going forward, I think. So going into halftime, it was 0-0. We were playing well. We had the best chances. Pogba dived for a free kick that Ronaldo smashed over the bar. Typical sort of stuff from United. But like we were saying, they weren't really creating anything too dangerous apart from maybe the Maguire header. There was a great save from Emmy. But the game opened up in the second half, Noah, and Ollie had another good shot where he picked up the ball in the channel, cut in. Greenwood had a couple of shots for them, and Ramsey had that good chance. What did you think of that?
Obviously, when Ramsey went down, I think in our group chat we have that everyone thought it was an injury, like an ACL. That's honestly the first thing that came to mind. When you see a player going like that, thought he was injured. So I'm quite happy he got up. Obviously, I want Ramsey to score so badly. I mean, one of our own, doing what we all wanted to do one day, play for the Villa. But the second half, as you said, opened up. United didn't threaten too much. Again, they had that couple of counter attacks, but defensively we were just immense. Absolutely immense. And fair play to Dean Smith. I mean, you look at last year, you think we're going to play 4-3-3 every week. Grealish, like same formation every week, so predictable. When in doubt, get to Grealish. This season, we can do it. We can do anything. Ramsey dribbles the ball up. You got when Bailey's fit. Bailey can sprint at players. Watkins can sprint at players, and we're just so diverse this season. And look, I just can't believe on the win. Still in shock.
Yeah, we've got a plan B and a plan C. It's not just up to get the ball left to Jack and hope for the best. And you touched on the defense, and I wanted to go to you, Tommy, on this one. Mings, Hause, and Konsa. There's a good argument to keep that for the Spurs game. They were fantastic, and I think it helps the whole team. It pushes the whole team forward having them three there, because not only are they solid defensively, they push the team, they attack their men, and they I think Douglas Luiz doesn't feel like he has to cover anymore as much. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I don't have to slag Luiz off as much now. He's definitely not playing that deep kind of deep number 6 role. I think he's actually able to advance further up the pitch. So really, it's almost like we're playing 5 and 5. With the 2 wing backs supporting. We've just got the 3 laying back, and I think it was Ronaldo or Greenwood at one point. He's just isolated up front against all three. And to be honest, Konsa, Mings, and Hause is probably the biggest out of all three. Such a big presence, not just on the defensive end. Hause was getting a lot of defensive headers off corners out. And then on the offensive end, he's probably going into something else, just quickly segueing into that. The arrival of Austin McPhee, we're real set piece specialists now, and goal comes off a set piece. Hause, Mings, concept defensively, they're all sound and just clearing, no nonsense. Hause was probably a fringe player. Everyone probably said he probably warranted to big part of that exodus of players with Hourahan, Engels as well. People said Engels probably deserved to stay more than Hause, and I think Hause is really now warranting a starting spot. And I don't understand why we wouldn't change the lineup. The result wasn't there against Chelsea, but the performance was in the league. It's worked against United. I don't see why we can't go to all the big sides with this. And again, you've got like 3 Rolls-Royce engines in McGinn, Louise and Ramsey. I don't understand why you change this lineup at all. Ings and Watkins, the synergy is actually pretty good as well.
Well, just saying, you're calling him a Rolls Royce now, but a couple of weeks ago, Tommy, you did call for Douglas Luiz to be dropped. I think was, which raised a few eyebrows. But
I've got a nice humble pie coming out of the oven, so I'll probably take the first slice and probably eat the whole thing because I don't think anyone else was slacking him off with me. But, he's the Brazilian Makelele.
Maybe he heard you on the podcast and thought I've got to lift my game. So fair play.
If Tommy's not happy, I need to make it up to him. I said, look, Dougie, just do what you got to do.
Can I just bring up McPhee? Sorry to interrupt you. In the 33 minutes, because I made notes.
Oh, wow.
When Luke Shaw was being substituted, the bearded blonde lady was absolutely totally animated on the sidelines with Ramsey.
Yep.
And he was giving him a proper bollocking. And that kind of surprised me. And that says to me that he's not just there as a set piece coach. He's obviously been given license by Dean Smith to say, if you see something, say something. And he's obviously not afraid of saying something. And I just think that's a fantastic attitude that people can say, you know what, I'm going to have my piece.
Well, I was going to touch on this later. So
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's I was just going to ask, has Smith evolved this season? I think that he's delegating to these other guys. He's brought in specialists, but they're not just there, like Troy said, for the set pieces that and Neil Cutler's the goalkeeping coach, but you can see him in Smith's ear as well on the sideline, and I think he's taking the step back, sort of like these great managers like Wenger or Alex Ferguson or whatever, like kind of used to do, and let the coaches coach, and he just has the final say. So, what do you think about that, Noah?
Well, I think definitely evolved as a coach, but not only that, I think that the people he's got around him, Craig Shakespeare's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
Not only that, they've all been around football for a very, very long time. So it's not like they don't know anything about the game. So I think giving them free license to be able to correct something if they see it, they're all at training at the same time. It's not like they're all like, oh, you're only doing set piecing, you're only doing goalkeeping, I think it's honestly incredible. And Dean Smith, I think he's here for the long haul. I hope he is. I mean, he copped a lot of I think after Watford, people get him out. It's like one game of the season, had no preseason at all, and now fans are thinking, he's the best manager of all time for us. But I
think that's the biggest win of his tenure in terms of just the performance, just the maturity of the team and how it's grown.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, winning the playoff final and stuff like that were more significant games for the club, but in terms of just a 100% statement and a masterclass of a plan that you can see that's been developing the last 3 or 4 weeks to sort of all come into play in this game and beat one of the best teams in the world. It's been fantastic. Troy, I just wanted to talk to you. Do you think Maguire should have been sent off in the second half when he pulled back John McGinn?
Oh, I don't think he should even be a professional football player. The guy's a twat. How's he supposed to be the best defender in the world? Come on. No, he should have been sent. And you could see the look on Mike Dean's face. He's glanced around the stadium. He's looking for Alex Ferguson. Come on. That's
A bit,
on
a
your
bit,
bike, Sunshine. That was
a
terrible.
bit of top 4 bias there. You think? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
How
Absolutely.
did VAR do nothing about it though? They
I was
didn't
going to
even look at
say,
it.
like even just to, it's a controversial decision to not even just flag it or just bring it up or just take a second and just I don't know
And
recalibrate.
John
it
McGinn was fuming.
consult your expert. McGinn was
John
fuming.
McGinn
He
chased
didn't
him
go
around
to-
the pitch for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I think McGinn out of frustration made a silly foul as
yeah.
retaliation a couple minutes later.
Good foul, I thought. I thought he got a ball personally.
Why
But
not? Let it go.
And Tommy, we'll get to the goal, then the craziness in the last few minutes. 88th minute. There's Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer's not very happy, saying that the goal shouldn't have counted because it was offside. Wonder what your thoughts are on that. I'm pretty sure I know, but it was a great run, a great head, a great delivery, and exactly what we deserved.
Yeah, I guess Ollie's kind of take on it. Look, didn't they? We're not the team fielding $500 million on that pitch, including one of the goats of all time. So if he's got to worry about a silly decision like that, maybe De Gea was, impairing Ollie was impairing De Gea's view. Let's be real. Yeah, these are full grown men. I'm sure De Gea could just step aside. Ollie wasn't, constantly following him around. The ball in from, I think, Buendia, comes on, gets his assist, does what he does.
it was Louise. It was your mate.
Yes.
It was your mate.
Again, the Brazilian Buendia. There you go.
You're trying to get rid of him again already. Come on.
Oh, damn it. He's on to me. He's on to me. No. So yeah, you bullet header by Hause, and if anyone was, I think he's our biggest threat on corners. To be honest, he's just such a big physical presence. He actually towers over Mings. Funny enough, who's actually a big unit, same as Konsa. Great bullet head up, goes and celebrates the Villa fans. He knows what's good. And then I guess maybe if you want to ask Noah or Troy, I guess the aftermath following on from that. But as for the goal, great goal. Team got around him, and I think I was speaking to some of the Villa fans, and I just I'm like, something's going to happen after this goal.
Well, I actually called it in the chat. I said, Hause, this is set up for a Hause winner in the 93rd minute. I was 5 minutes off, but
if anything, you guessed 3 minutes ahead. Had you have guessed 3 minutes earlier, you would have been on the money. So
yeah, that's it. I know. But that was one thing that Smith did say in his after-match press conference. He said that having the 3 at the back means that we are more of a threat on the set pieces because
agreed.
Yeah, because we've got the 3 big lads, and and Hause definitely proved him right there. And then Troy, we got to we 1-0 up. A couple minutes to go, we're thinking just hang in there, and of course the inevitable penalty came for United. What did you think of the decision at first, and then I'll go on to Noah about the actual shenanigans and the shithousery that went on later?
We need one of those buttons that beep out the bad language for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
No, I'll try and keep it civilized. Look, that decision was piss poor. Firstly, it was deflected onto his arm. Yeah. His arm was in a natural position. What was he supposed to do with his arm? What really pissed me off is VAR made a decision that was the quickest VAR decision ever.
And he didn't go and have a look at it?
No.
Yeah.
It was absolutely disgusting. But of course, we all know the best part of that was when Emmy just climbed over everybody and just almost grabbed Ronaldo around the throat saying, "You're the best player in the world, aren't you? You take it. You take it. You take it."
It was absolutely brilliant.
The best shithousery in goal I think I've ever seen. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he was having to go at Ronaldo, but really he was having to go at Bruno because he knew
you're not good enough.
Exactly. He knew that if Bruno starts thinking, well, if I miss this, I'm off penalties for forever. This might just get in his head, and it did. Noah, it was insane.
Honestly, I've never seen Bruno Fernandes miss the whole goal. But 2, put it off the ground. If you look at most of his pens, it's normally just along the ground, just guides it into the goal. But also, what I realized is he didn't do his little hop step.
I was going to say he changed his routine.
He literally just tried to belt this as hard as he could into the back of the net. And honestly, I think it's coming to Australia. It was that high over the bar. Probably landing in Perth very soon for you, Scottie.
Was it a frustration thing? Maybe he's like just out of aggression, thinking, I'm the penalty taker. And I think, to be honest, even pre-Villa game, this was in his head since Ronaldo arrived, and he
Yeah.
was just going to get those fantasy points. He knows
Yeah.
what's up.
Well, I lucky I took him out, so you know.
I know, me too.
But honestly, like Emi Martinez, what a keeper! I believe what I heard he said was, "I want to save your penalty." Pointing at Ronaldo, I want to save your penalty.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think Ollie said that the penalty deciders, like the taker, was decided before the game. That's all BS, in my opinion. I think it's down to the moment, and I thought Ronaldo was going to take it, and I thought he was going to score it. Which is a typical Man U thing. Late goal against Villa happens a fair bit.
Yeah, he didn't do anything all game, and he pops up with the equaliser. I saw that coming, but like I said, great shithouser. I think he actually said something like, "Oh, Messi would take it to him as well, to Ronaldo." Like really, really got under his skin. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said afterwards that it didn't get in Bruno's head, but it must have, because
he changed his penalty tactic. He changed everything about his penalty. You know, he's taken every penalty I've seen. He's taken last season or 2 seasons ago. He took a lot of penalties for United, and it's always that little one hop, skip, and then glides it past the keeper when they move. But this one, he just charged at the ball and just tried to hit it so hard.
I think that Ollie OGS was referring to that as one of his key talking points in his post-match interview. I definitely think it was in his head. He's in his manager's head too, let alone the player.
Yeah. And he was complaining about Emmy, saying that that's not right what he was doing. But I mean, come on, it's big boys. It's just a few mean words.
I think
you got to get over it.
Solskjaer played with Roy Keane. So I mean, if we're really going to talk about unfair, let's rewind it right back.
But was anything that out of line said? Nothing. He didn't swear. He didn't say anything that offensive. It was just all natural soccer talk. Like he always says, "I want to save your penalty, mate." Like I don't want to save this guy's pen.
And the last club in the world that should whinge at anything untowards are those bastards.
Yeah, agreed.
Can I just say, with regards to Ronaldo, I thought he was complete shit, but we've just had a message come through on our new website. It says, "Hey fellas, stayed up late to watch the game. Ronaldo certainly put that A in GOAT." And that's from Billy, age 10 in Sydney. Thanks, Billy. Glad you enjoyed last week's podcast.
Nice.
Fantastic. Yes, the website is up and running. Where you got the details there, Troy? Do you want to give us a bit of a rundown on?
I forget what it is. CoopDeVilla.com.au.
That's the one. That's the one. And we've got all our videos up there, so go check that out.
Not CoopDeVilla.com in case this blows up. You don't want to secure that IP.
Look, I think it'll be okay for now, but we might need to talk about it later when we've got 1 million subscribers or whatever. But at the moment we've got about 50, so we're getting there. But
worry about it when you're living next to the Kardashians.
Yeah, that's it. Like all the YouTubers are buying up those big houses now around Beverly Hills. So
we're gonna get on Twitch, Scott. We're on the wrong platform.
On the hot tub streams.
Villa hot tub.
Yeah.
I want to know the question for me during the match was it Mings, or was it McGinn, or was it Cash that threw a bit of toilet duck on Pogba's hair?
Oh.
There's no way that was blue before he came on the pitch. No, that's not intentional. Somebody's put toilet duck in his hair.
Yeah. Anyone that's like changing the color of their hair every week like that, like probably needs to concentrate on actually being able to play, because he did absolutely nothing in this game, did he, Pogba or Fernandes or Ronaldo? Really?
No,
I thought he actually was all right.
I thought Pogba was their best player.
He was really good.
I thought so as well.
He didn't do a lot like obviously didn't score a goal. I had that shot where he took 3-4 players on in the box.
Yeah, in the box.
Yeah. This is their goal. But
then there was that curling shot from outside the box. Yeah. I think he got the header that should have probably gone in. So he's probably their most dangerous player. I thought Ronaldo was shit.
Yeah, Ronaldo and Fernandes were really quiet. But that's just the quality you have when you have, Mings, Hause and Conser in the back line, probably the 200 million pound centre back these days.
I think Man United's biggest problem there is they have a team full of egos, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't managing them properly.
No.
If Ferguson was still there, there's no way they pull off that performance. He's throwing a lot more than teacups at halftime.
Yeah.
And going back to what I said, what Scottie said earlier, that we now seem to have a plan A, B, and C. At quite a few times during that game, Man United had the ball around their penalty box. We had 5 up front in their faces.
Yeah.
And I think that's Dean Smith's way of saying, what's your plan B?
Yeah, we're not scared.
Well, that's it. And it's a way of saying to guys like Fred and McTominay and these guys, okay, are you good enough to pass the ball around us? Because we don't think you are. Like that's putting pressure on their potential weak link is their midfield. And if you sit back and just let them have all the time in the world, they can look good. They can pass it side to side. They can, give it to Ronaldo or whatever. But if you put them under pressure, then they've got a whole different problem. And they really didn't control the game at all. I thought it was us that probably had the better possession and the better movement and created the better chances. So
I think the difference, Scott, and I saw this in one of the videos, it was a great comment. He said, United's problem was they have a team full of names that they're trying to squeeze into positions that they don't belong.
Yeah.
And I said, if you look at Villa, we're actually putting the perfect pieces in place. Yep. Even if that means at the expense of, say Bailey was fit, he probably wouldn't have started. When Diaz on the bench, we paid 30 million for.
Yeah.
This formation right now works. And like I said, you've got players like Ramsey, who's a youth product, but he's the perfect player in that position, and that's who will start.
Yeah, because he brings the energy. A lot of managers would try and shoehorn Buendia in there or somebody.
Agreed.
Yeah, and Smith has gone, no, this guy, he's the perfect guy. He's got all the attributes you need, and it's working. And I guess the only thing, Tommy, that was a bit of a negative was we didn't take our chances early, and that can always come back to bite you in the arse, and it nearly did. But that's got to be the next step for us, right?
Yeah, well, to be honest, how do we take it? We're playing 2 strikers up front. Ollie had a great season. Ings is a natural predator as a striker, not child molester, but he's a natural predator, and he's got that killer instinct. But I said, again, they're not even getting on the score sheet when we're winning. So I said, it's going to be scary. We're protecting a lot of goals for Ings and Watkins, but I think now when we kind of reevaluate that, I think if they get 25 between them and we play how we are lately and bring the other players in, if we can get, a goal from Luiz, some sort of scream, if Ramsey can get a couple this season, if we're probably going to score a lot more off set pieces that we probably wouldn't think.
Well, it's good. It's good to know that Danny Ings is. It's good to know that Danny Ings has gone into the same category as Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, and he's a predator. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, no.
Just to add to that, I think Ollie Watkins has got the touch of a rapist. His first touch is just absolutely awful. He gets that right twice, and we win 3-0. And I've seen a lot of people say that Target's back to his back to form. So. I thought he was shit.
I think left back should be our priority in the January transfer window. And I did see we were linked with Rico Henry. That fella that signed for Burnley, the French guy, he actually scored on the weekend, funny enough.
Yeah, good player.
Cornet, that's his name.
If I had the first idea how to put together a YouTube highlights reel, and I did that for Target for his last 2 matches, every single comment is going to be, what the fuck? He's not good. Yeah, so when you consider that, Ollie Watkins wasn't switched on,
Well,
I think it's get a goal. Get a goal, the floodgates will open.
So we did that to Man United with effectively 9 players, and they had 12 with Mike Dean. So,
well, so we got a week off now. We got Spurs next weekend, and it's another great opportunity to test ourselves against a good side, but a side that have their issues and have lost a couple lately. They play Arsenal tonight, so. That's a big game for them. And coming off that, I'm confident that we can go in and win that game. Noah, what are your thoughts?
100% unchanged team for me as well, unless any unfortunate training injuries. I'm not sure if you guys watched Courtney Hause's post-match interview on the Villa website.
I did.
But his mindset is amazing. They're like, "Oh, are you happy?" I think it's selling along like, "Are you happy with how you've been, like your position, as a squad player?" He's like, "No, I want to start." That just proves he's gonna push every single one of those centre backs to make it his position.
Yep.
And that's the type of players we've got at the moment. We've got no one that's position is 100% theirs all season.
And I think he will start, because I think Smith is the kind of manager, like he's done with Ramsey. If you perform, you're in.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. The belief is there in the team. I think that's the big thing. I think you can tell in that first 10, 15 minutes, we're not a team now that is just, let's see how the game peters out. Let's kind of just get a foot in the game and, like see how we go. And when we've got the ball, we're compared to like the Watford game at the start of the season to now, it's like chalk and cheese. We've got a plan. Everyone's being proactive, moving, and we're just making things happen. And the fans, the away fans, like yesterday, they get behind the team, and it feels just like something's happening. And I think Smith needs a lot of credit. Troy, what do you think about that?
I think the big difference between Smith and some of the previous managers we've had, whose names I'm not going to say, is that he's looking at the players we've signed. We've used Ramsey and Buendia as examples, and let's look at those. Smith is thinking, you know what? If you've got the talent and you've got the form, you've got the shirt.
Yep.
How much I paid for you? That's the accountant department's problem. That's not my problem. If they're performing, you're on the pitch. And I think players are sensing that, if I put in the yards, doesn't matter what my transfer fee was, doesn't matter what I'm earning every week. If I'm doing the job on the pitch, I'm going to get a run. My question is, how long do we give Ramsey? I think he's a young lad. He's on form. He deserves to be on the pitch. But do we want to play him game in, game out? He's a young lad. I think, when do we give him a break? Because he will need one through the season.
Does he though? I mean, I know he's a Blue Lows, but you look at Jude Bellingham. They just went for it. They've let him run wild. Yes, he left for a better club, and now he's firing, and all of a sudden he's almost a 100 million player. I'm not saying Ramsey's on that par, but that's almost what he's becoming for us. You look at he's probably like 300% growth in 1 year. We thought if he gets a bit better, he's doing well, but now he's become a starter. He's keeping players like Stanson on the bench. He's keeping everyone else on the bench. Buendia, who's signed to play in front of him. So it's not even, I think for me, Ramsey and Hause have warranted starting 11 spots, and that's at the expense of talent on the bench now.
Absolutely. But I'm just concerned, just with burnout, not just physically, but mentally, and it is a challenge at this level mentally. I'd like to see the lad get a bit of a break, but even if it's to say, look, we're just going to give you a rest for a couple of games, but then you're straight back in. You're not dropped.
I think
we'd have to change the system, wouldn't we?
I think last season was big for him though, because he got that 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row, I think, and that's probably made him, and was another preseason him as well. So I think he'll be okay. I think he's got the tank and like the legs to be able to keep going.
Yeah, I think he's thinking, I've put the yards in, I've taken my chance. Why would I want to be dropped for no reason?
Yeah, fair enough.
The only one that I could say might challenge for his spot is Sanson. I thought he had a fantastic, game midweek against Chelsea. He was really impressive, and I just hope he's not one of those sick notes that plays well and then injured all of a sudden.
I think someone like a Chukwuemeka could come in there too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good to have the options, right? That's what we want. We want guys who know if they have one bad game, there's guys there that can come in, and you want to know that if you do play well, you're going to stay in the team as well. So I think he will probably get a break sometime in the season, just because he is a young kid, and he's probably not going to keep this level all season. But it's going to be interesting to see, and it's a great problem for Smith to have. But it's probably time to wrap it up. But we've had some good questions over the last few weeks at the end of the podcast. And last week we asked, after the Chelsea midweek defeat in the penalty shootout, what was your favourite Aston Villa penalty shootout victory? And we had a few comments. The West Bromwich Albion was very popular with that one. The win in the playoff semi-final when Jed Sear ruined Mason Holgate's life by staring at him before the penalty. That's a very popular one. There was some other good ones as well. But we're going to end with a question tonight. And because we scored late yesterday against Manchester United, I'm going to say, what's your favourite buzzer beater victory for Villa where we've won in the last few seconds? And
I can already name one now.
Oh,
yeah. Ashley Young for me.
Ashley Young at Everton.
No, sorry, Ashley Young flicking the ball onto. No, was it Gabby flicking the ball onto Ashley Young? Yeah. It was so good, I forgot it.
Everton away.
That's the one.
Mine's Watford 2 seasons ago. Ming/Consor, whatever goal that was. Actually being there as well. Different for me.
I liked Lowton against Stoke. Do you remember that one? That was yes. That was an absolute scream, one of the goals of the season, and that was in the last few minutes to win the game. So tell us what your favourite one was, and please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. We're enjoying doing them, and we love you guys to comment and get involved and on on social media or in the YouTube comments. Please come back next week. We got Spurs for Villa, so it's a huge week for us. Hopefully we can get a few guys back and keep this momentum going, because it's an absolute pleasure watching the games at the moment. It was a magnificent win up the Villa, and we will see you all next week. All right, see you, lads. Avengers.
Thanks,
Hey!
Villa.
See you, lads. See ya.
See you guys.